Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer. And in this video, we are going to be talking about the partial lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus that is happening on October 28th or 29th, depending on where you are in the world. And we are going to be looking at the whole eclipse as an event, as an energetic event from a perspective of its energy, main themes, and then Spirit is going to give you some advice. So before we get into the energy specifically, this partial lunar eclipse is in the sign of Taurus. So that is placing us in the second house. And when you have a lunar eclipse, it's actually a full moon. So we have the sun in the sign of Scorpio, the moon is in the sign of Taurus, and we have that double dynamic going on. But very clearly, a full moon in Taurus is also the moon being in exaltation. It's said to be a position, a house in which the moon can get the most out of its energy. So whenever we have a moon in Taurus, we are in energies of worthiness, abundance, prosperity, of this overflow of everything that also is about the moon in terms of our psyche, our perception, our also interpretations of reality, our sense of reality, our awareness, that we are able to perceive prosperity, to perceive worthiness, to perceive value, appreciation in ways that are just heightened, yeah, in Taurus in general. And then there's a lunar eclipse on top of it. So this energy is highly potent, it's highly powerful. It is also piggybacking off Uranus, who is in the sign of Taurus and has been for years, doing some amazing work, transformational work that we will also talk about during this reading. And then finally, this is the last eclipse within the polarity of Taurus and Scorpio. So for the last, I think it's about 18 months, we've been having eclipses in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio about every 6 months, going back and forth, back and forth. So lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, and having these cycles for about the last 18 months. And so this lunar eclipse is the end of that cycle. All the work that we've been doing in past eclipses is culminating in this eclipse. And then that will be that for that polarity, and we will be back in about 18 years. Right? So it's a big energy. It's a big energy. I mean, 9 years we'll be back in Scorpio, like the polarity in the other sign, but 18 years until we're back to this energy. So this is a big cycle that is culminating and another big cycle that is starting up. You can think back to where you were around 2005. I didn't check the specific dates, but it would be like 18 years ago, right? So where you were around then, and that should speak to you. And in the same way, this eclipse is kind of sending the energies towards where you're gonna be in about 18 years. And when we talk about it, you're going to see why that's relevant. And so before I finish, to me, eclipses are an energy where it's like a download. Like us as a species, we download a program, and everybody, because it's collective energy, that's why I'm saying species. So we all so we all download the same energy at a collective level, but each person deals with it in its own way, right? It's like when you have a computer system and you download some software on it, depending on the configurations of the system, what the memory is, what kind of drives are installed, and so on and so forth. You can hear I know so much about it. But depending on the capacity of the computer, the download is going to unfold in one way or another. And it's the same way. It's about us. It's about our energetic system. It's about our embodiment, our lives, our alignments, where we're at, where we're not at. And so we're all going to receive this energy in a different way. And it is supposed to be that way. So we will also be speaking to that in the reading, because it is in the heart and the core of what the energy is bringing through, because Taurus is a personal sign. So the personal within the collective is highlighted at this time. So my love, that was it for the intro. Let's get right to the energy. So let's talk energy. With that, we have here the Nature's Whispers deck by Angela Hartfield and Ekaterina Golovanova. And I've been trying to make this video so many times. The saga continues, but it keeps being kind of, I was using another deck, but this is the right deck. So there's this sense of really trying to find the right energy and needing to find the right energy, needing to find the right tools, needing to essentially set up the alignment. It has to be the right alignment, the right way, right? There you go. It has to be, there's just a proper procedure to things. So with that, we have 3 cards. We have got renewal of peace, pause, and we have vulnerability. And now we're in the right energy. That has to be part of it too. It's like, oh my God, I do feel that. Like, okay, I'm in the right energy. I've drawn so many cards, also again from different decks, started the reading, and it's like, no, 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 it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. And then you get in the right alignment, it's the right deck, the right moment, and then the right messages can come in. And this is definitely part of this energy, renewal of peace. This eclipse has this a big upgrade to your sense of belonging to yourself, belonging in the world, also belonging in your life. Who belongs in your life, when, where, how much, to what degree, who doesn't. And there's the greater ability for you to sense that, to be aware of that, and then to navigate accordingly. And with that sense of belonging comes a greater amount of peace. But where would the lack of peace have come from? And Spirit says it's like when you don't know yourself. Like, okay, so wherever you've had in your life, going through your process, growing, evolving, trying, building, creating, wherever you have things that have been up in the air, this eclipse is bringing a lot of sense of them landing, and landing in the right spot for the right things, for the right reason, with the right person, in the right ways, and so on and so forth. So it is happening through the energies of the eclipse, but also going forward, that there's going to be from now on a path that is going to be opening, and it's the right path, it's the aligned path, and it's the path that you have been building eclipse after eclipse after eclipse after eclipse after the eclipse. The energy of this eclipse is not singular, it is really an accumulation. And again, it's also kind of piggybacking off of Uranus's work in Taurus for years for years, right? Almost, for 4 years. And so there's a lot of energy that is going into the culmination, and the manifestations very much linked to full moon energy, the awareness that comes in, but also with the path that you will follow from here on out, as Spirit is saying. With that, we have pause. So this is going to resonate especially in areas where you've been waiting. And Spirit is saying, you see how this person is there all dressed up with nowhere to go, where you have been feeling that you're ready and you're able and you're willing and you're just raring to go. You just want it to come into focus. You just want it to happen already. You just want to be there already, right? But then things just have been taking their time. Things have been kind of stalling. There have been accidents. There have been 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. There's been this energy of kind of you giving and not getting anything back. All of these misalignments of energy, that's what Spirit is saying. They're all manifestations of a misalignment of energy. And so giving a sense of pause, which at the same time you can see this being is young. So there was also something about learning and growing into readiness. Just because you perceive that you're ready, it doesn't mean that you were. And especially, you're not ready if the universe isn't ready. That would be like separating yourself from the universe and saying, well, I'm ready, so let's go. That's not how it works. You're fully ready when the universe is ready, when the convergence happens. And so you're going to start gaining a lot of, in this energy, there's a lot of realizations that are coming in. I'm seeing like little pieces, bits and pieces getting placed into your brain. So into your sense of perception, into your sense making, your sense of meaning also. The pieces are falling into place, and you're also understanding like, that's why this happened and that happened, and that's why this didn't happen. Oh, thank God that didn't happen. This is so great, so good. So that there's a little bit of pause in this energy for you to realize that you've actually been in a very interesting position. There's a lot about having to wait and to struggle, and again, all of these what is it called, the accidents and the missteps and the issues and all of that stuff. But at the same time, while that created a sense of vulnerability, you were actually really taken care of. There was a flow bringing you along to where you were going. I don't know if you can see this. Where are they? Yeah, there you go. See, I knew they were there before I could see them, actually. It's part of that. But there were candles here. You were being supported, you were being guided, you were being led without you even knowing that you were. Spirit was watching over you. Your whole path was overlaid, overlooked. It was under the purview, I'm getting, of divine intelligence. There was someone on the case, right? You weren't just thrown out, even if you felt vulnerable and that anything could happen from one day to the next. This could work, this could not work. I could get it, I could not get it. I could be it, I could not be it. I don't know. That's your perspective. That's the reality you were in. But in the grander scheme of things, you were at once more vulnerable than you knew. You're going to realize it, like, wow, this could have gone wrong, that could have gone wrong, that didn't go wrong. Why? Well, spirit was there. But at the same time, you're realizing, oh, this didn't go wrong, and that didn't go wrong, and that didn't go wrong. Why? Because spirit was there. So there's a big, very, very spiritual energy in Taurus, which makes sense. The tarot archetype for Taurus is the Hierophant. So there is this connection to the divine and learning from spirit. And there's a lot of learning that is going to come in about how cherished you are, how taken care of you are, which is fundamentally the true nature of abundance and the birthright and everything that the Taurus energy represents at the highest levels, about how we are the creature of the universe. And at an individual level, Taurus is a personal sign, each and every single one of us are entitled. We have a birthright to complete and total abundance on this planet. And it is part of the essence, at an essence level in spiritual energy. That is what it is. That's what the Taurus energy talks about. But then there's how we've built the world, and that's how there's how we humans live, and what we teach each other, and how we grow up, and so on, and all the things that happen along the way. That there's a big energy with this eclipse to just like garble all of that, so that ultimately what defines you and your life and what's going to happen is not the rules of the world, also connected to the Hierophant, but the divine birthright, also connected to the Taurus energy. So there's a lot about kind of peeling back the layers, a lot being revealed, a lot being, again, put into your head, but brought to you, downloaded, right? Shared with you. And also a lot of perspectives that are arising from where you're looking around you that is giving you access to a higher truth. And you can choose, am I going to live from that higher truth that is divine abundance for me all the time? Or am I going to live according to this earthly causality that says that this can never happen, that could never happen? And really, it's going to seem almost foolproof because the two are going to be very clear, and you're going to choose. Free will. You're going to choose. And I love it because, again, it's off the work that we've been doing. We've been working for... There is a very specific way, there is. But we've been working for ages, right? Literally, so other lifetimes, but also in this life. And through these eclipses, one after the other, this is a very, very layered and cumulative energy. I love it. 3? Yeah. All right, we have got our clear endeavor. Love it. Acceptance of love that. And... Hey. Yeah, this is great energy. Wow. And given what we've been talking about, this is energy that you've been waiting for, that I've been waiting for, the people on this path have been waiting for. So let's start with the clear endeavor. We're going to go back. There's a time that you're going to need to come into peace. And coming to peace is also talking about making peace with how things have been, making peace with how they are, making peace with everything that you wanted to have, everything that you couldn't have, everything you should have had, everything you didn't have, all of this stuff, right? What could have happened, should have happened, didn't happen, would have happened, all this stuff. There's a lot of sense making that's been going on and that will be going on in this eclipse energy, and you're intended to be in it. Spirit is like, get in the pool, get in the water, go to the deep end, get into it, right? Immerse yourself in this energy and let it do its work, because it's very cleansing and it's very purifying, and it is going to engender in you a greater sense of trust, because the times ahead, my dear, are going to be wild. This is not an energy that's going to be very calm and quiet and just like, no, no, no. That's a lot of work you've put in, a lot of energy. And so a lot of stuff is going to be happening. And it's very important that you inside, and we've seen child, child, child. So your divine child, it's very important that you are at ease and you are in trust and you're in allowance, right? And vulnerability, Spirit has taught me, is actually it's a two-edged sword. It's good to be able to be in the vulnerability, but it's also something to come out of. There's a video here on the channel where we talk about expansion and contraction, the cruise or bruise method. And when we're cruising with the energy, we're in this wonderful sense of expansion. Everything is possible. We're in strength and we feel empowered, and we move from there. And then when we're in the bruise stage, we're in contraction. We are doubting ourselves, doubting our abilities, doubting what's going on. Essentially, we feel vulnerable in the expansion, in the light, and showing up more as ourselves and everything that's happening on. But we're in a space of contraction into the experience, right? So we're contracting in response to how well everything is going, essentially, to how everything is expanding. And so that's where we feel vulnerable. So it's very important to acknowledge vulnerability, to know vulnerability, to even value it, but not to stay in it. Because when you are in a space of assurance, when you're in a space of trust, when you're in a space of just awareness that you know yourself, you know what your destiny is, you know what your path is, you know where you're headed, and more importantly, you know what spirit is. Spirit, I call it spirit. You know the unconditionally loving energy that guides you. You know how it runs the world. You know what life is about. You have your spiritual truth and you live by it without great effort. It's just true to you, right? When you're in that space, there can be no vulnerability. And so vulnerability in that sense can become a really good hint, and knowing that we're stepping out of alignment with the energy, and then we can realign, get back into it. And I feel like that's a lot of what was going on with me trying to set up the reading and trying over and over and over again. There was a sense of vulnerability. There is a time window here that I really wanted to make use of, and there are other things going on in my life right now where I just wanted to sit down and film and kind of get this done, but that's not how it works. And that's not the space to approach it from, right? There was a misalignment there. There was basically a sense of vulnerability and a sense of contraction that I was feeling in this doing this work, because it's been going so well lately. It's amazing. I feel like I'm doing this work in another way, on another level, and how it's progressing, coming together, how the different formats are aligning, what to talk about, the words that are coming through, the energy, everything is just on a different level. And it's really what I've been dreaming on, working towards, and all of that stuff. And it could just keep going on, and that's not why you're here. But the point is that in that good energy that is headed your way, it is so easy to trip yourself up and to start believing that you are vulnerable in some way, right? It's very easy to contract, and it's kind of natural. You will contract. But that's why you've been building yourself up. And that's what you're going to know. You're going to know, and you're going to realize, and Spirit will show you, and Spirit will tell you that the ways in which you have been the ways in which you've been working on yourself and preparing yourself is precisely so that you won't contract and stay in contraction and stay in vulnerability when the time comes, when it really is do or die time, when it is the right time, when things show up, the possibility is there, the opportunity is there, and you just want to move into it with the most expanded energy. And you don't want to contract. Yes, you can always open up, but you just want to stay expanded and keep expanding all the way into 2026 and beyond. And so that's what it's been for. And there's a lot that's going to come through at a personal, intimate level for you to know how that showed up. Oh, I had this experience so that I wouldn't doubt when someone tells me that they love me, or I had that experience so that I would trust when I'm offered help with this project, this specific project, right? I know that if they offer me help with the finances, no, because I had that experience. But if they offer me help with the creative part, absolutely, because I had this other experience, and so on and so forth, right? So there's a lot about also developing confidence in yourself because of where you've been, what you've been through, what you learned along the way. And it's you becoming very, very clear on that. And ultimately, all of that will be consolidating in you. You're going to be embodying that and knowing you're embodying it through the sense of peace and the renewal of peace over and over and over again. And just coming into the sense of, yeah, belonging to yourself, belonging in the situation, belonging with others, just to have things really working out and fitting together beautifully. So now I noticed that the cards that I drew are actually going to be for the main themes. And there's also a message there. Do not get ahead of yourself. Let things unfold in their own time, in their own way. And by the way, if you do get ahead of yourself, the energies will just pause it. It will just pause. Everything is going to pause. Something else will happen and they'll be there whenever it's time to get to it again. There's a natural sense of pacing that you also will have learned during this time of pause, because that natural sense of pacing, my love, it's your own rhythm. It's your own rhythm. It's you setting the rhythm, not you getting dragged along like so many people are in this modern world. And due to its functioning, you wake up at this, you have to be at work for it, and this and that, and you get home and you cook dinner and that was your day, right? It's about transcending all of that. And it's the same thing in on this journey. I want this to happen, I want that to happen, I want da, 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 da. Okay, but where's your rhythm? Where are you at? Where are you at in connection with the universe, and allowing all of that to unfold in its own beautiful time, which by the way will be perfect, right? It's divine timing. And so my love, that was it for the energy. Let's talk main themes. We already have the cards. And so let me introduce the cards once more. We've got Clear Endeavor. There you go. We have got The Acceptance of Love came second. And we have got Ideal Course of Action, which is absolutely one of my favorite cards in this deck. Used to get a lot. And always usually with a really good message. There we go. Just want to let you look at that, how glorious that is. Okay. When you're in this energy and it's working on you and it's working with you, you're going to experience these moments of clarity, bursts of clarity, a lot of brow chakra activations I would then imagine are going to be unfolding. So there's a lot about a clarity that comes in about who you are, where to go, what to do, who with, when, where, how, and of course, equally, where not to go, what not to do, not with this, not with that, not for this, not for that. You're coming into a space with clear endeavor here, where essentially the leash is off. And this happened to me the other day. I just, part of my training and initiations, I ask my guides, right? So I check with my guides, do I do this, do I do that, do I go here, do I go there? And it's in the nature of the work that I do, but I also apply it in other areas of my life. And just the other day, I just didn't get an answer, and I was surprised. And I was like, wait, what's going on? Why aren't you answering me? And they're like, you choose. There is no, at this point, that work has been done, so there's no greater shift whether you choose left or right. We're out of calibration phase, so choose whichever, and then you're mature enough, you're you enough to deal with the consequences. And that's the kind of energy. You've been through the preparation, so it doesn't really matter if you go left or right. What matters is that you go where there's clarity. So what you've been learning is how to do things. And that's the first main theme. It's not about the thing, it's how you do it. It's the space of consciousness that you're operating from. It's the degree of clarity that you have about yourself, about the energy, about what's needed, about what's not needed. It's about your commitment also, how long you're going to keep at it until it works out, until it happens. And it is about the way, the approach, again, the consciousness, right, of, rather than the things themselves. When I write my healing work, I often say it is about the consciousness, presence, and willingness that we bring to the process that is going to make the healing work as effective as possible, right? And this is the same kind of energy. You are free to do whatever you want. You've done your work, and now you're getting to a space where you can do whatever, go wherever, be wherever, right? You always could, but now you can do it because you're going to do it with clarity. And you are needing to do it with clarity, because if you don't do it with clarity, there's going to be the issue, right? It would be like when I went to university. I have a master's, and I remember at some point, I think it was maybe the fourth year or fifth year, I was like, I didn't actually learn a lot of technical skills. I studied international business and politics, so it kind of goes with it. But there was a lot of business management, accounting, and all of those things were there. A lot of social sciences, but I didn't necessarily learn to do technical things like a doctor or a nurse would. But what I did learn is a mindset. I was taught to think like an academic, like a social scientist, but also like a manager, right? There were different angles and areas you could go into, and even more like an international manager. And that's what Spirit is saying here. You've been through a process. And yes, it has taught you specific things, like maybe how to meditate or eat, or how to select a friendship, and so on and so forth, depending on what you've been through. But fundamentally, the greatest value from that, the greatest gift from that, is the way in which you live. And that's what you need to uphold more than anything. Because we're going to skip to the ideal course of action. Ideal course of action talks about strategy and approach, right? How we go about things. But it also has a sub meaning that talks about being careful not to drift away from what we originally sought in the situation. I think it's this one, right? Yeah, the other one is more your values, but this card, it has a sub meaning, I believe, that talks about making sure that you stay on point, stay on track. It would be like, imagine you have all these values about money and how to spend money and how to live and be sustainable and all these things. Then you win the lottery, $1 million, and you're buying a Porsche, and you're, doing all of these things that don't have anything to do with the values that you had before. And that's kind of the energy. Because my love, there's a lot of love about to start raining into your life. There's a lot of goodness, and you can see that Spirit is not having me telling you there's this good thing and that good thing and so on and so forth. I feel like there are a lot of readers who probably would have that information. It really doesn't come through me, and that would be really cool. It would be fun, but Spirit brings me what I need to share, because what Spirit wants you to know is that there's a way to accept love. And there's a way where, when you have love like this, and they're showing what's it called, a complementarity. So we have masculine, we have feminine. There's a beautiful match here. There's an alignment. It's beautiful love, and there's acceptance, and they are accepting each other. They're accepting the love. They're aligned in it. It makes sense, right? But you can also have love that is destructive. You could have love that is codependent. You could have love that limits you. You could have love that diminishes you and your life, right? You could have abusive love. There's so many different ways. You could also have love that just is, without being abusive, it does weaken you a lot because you just depend on it maybe too much without going into codependency, or it just limits your world. Sometimes people fall in love and they are too alike, or not too alike, but they're so alike that they don't really grow and expand anymore, and it's fine. They're in love, right? And that's their love. But it becomes a limiting thing. That's what Spirit is saying. And this is about accepting love without the distortions, without the issues. Don't make a problem of this. What's coming to you, the wealth, the abundance, the prosperity, the opportunities, the potentials, all of it, some of it, the goodness that is coming to you for sure. It's very important that you accept you accept it with love and as love. So make it something good for you, make it something wholesome for you, and watch yourself. If I'm going into a space where you feel, yeah, oh, I hope it will come on focus, because I want you to really see it. You see how they're clinging to one another and kind of ingrown. You're not supposed to become dependent on the blessings that are coming in, and they're especially not intended to disempower you, to diminish you, right? You see how they have, I love this card because also she's grown to a point and they're at the same level, their heads kiss, and it's just perfect. But what if she grows beyond? Should she say, no, I'm so in love, I just want to stay here and kiss him, I'm not going to grow, I'm not going to evolve, I'm going to stay here? No. And the same thing with the blessings that are coming in. Don't get so attached that, oh, I got this house and I really love it, and then you get an amazing offer to move halfway around the world. No, 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 I can't, because I want to be in this house, I love this house, it's got to be this house, right? That's not what these blessings are for. That's what Spirit is saying. And you've been preparing not to allow yourself to get bogged down by it, but to really allow them to be love, universal love that is given to you and that you're able to receive in all its glory, Spirit is saying. Because part of receiving a blessing is the ability to honor it and ourselves in it. And so receiving something that diminishes you, diminishes your life, sets you off track, harms you in any way, that's not a blessing anymore. And this is an energy that wants to bring in blessing. We got a partial lunar eclipse in a sign of Taurus. The moon is in Taurus in exaltation. Blessings want to manifest, but it's very, very important, and they will manifest. But it's very, very important that you are so clear about the right thing to do here. It is not about the things themselves, and it is not about attaching themselves. It's about how you handle them. How you handle them. Make sure that every blessing makes you happier, more at peace, truer, kinder, more generous. If you get $1 million and all of a sudden you're the cheapest person on the planet, that is not a blessing. That is not a blessing. And so it's about navigating that space. Are there more for the main themes? Yes. Wherever this blessing is, it's going to be in a path that already has been walked. So, for example, you are going to be in an industry, let's say you get an amazing contract. Well, there's already that industry that knows how to do things, right? If you start a business, your business takes off, or you're going to be in an industry where there are other businesses operating, there's a way of doing things, there's a status quo, and so on and so forth. There's also a lot of energy coming through about ancestry. If you are meeting the love of your life, well, you have a whole ancestry of people who have met the loves of their lives, haven't, who have wanted to, couldn't, who couldn't be with theirs, and so on and so forth. So much baggage, like species, but also in our ancestry, in our families, and so on and so forth. And I'm mentioning it because this is curse breaker energy. There's a higher perspective at play here in what you're being given and why pointing. The most healing thing is not always the most appropriate thing, but why you are being given this, you watching this, you are being given this because you are going to be able to engage with it from a higher level. And Spirit is like, that's your destiny. That's your destiny. You are destined to do this from a higher level, to run that business, create this invention, fall in love, marry, have children, be wealthy. What else is there? Try something, explore, discover something. You are intended to have those experiences from a higher level. So don't shy away and don't back down, because yes, it's very easy to be revolutionary when you don't have the thing, right? To say, this is how I'm going to raise my kids. This is how I'm going to run my business. This is who I'm going to be in the world, until you're in the situation, until the kids are actually there, until the money is actually there. And all of a sudden there are very different pulls that come in. And I will tell you this, yes, let me tell you that there's a template, an energetic template that we each have, which is kind of our energy system and how we're going to create reality. It's like this 4D space, right? Which always gets neglected. We do 3D, 5D. People talk 3D, 5D, but 4D. And then at that 4D level, that's the template. And so in that template, there's our individual selves, our individual experiences, what we've been through and what we think and what we believe and all that stuff. But there's also everything we've seen growing up. There's our family stuff, there's species stuff, there's racial stuff, there's gender stuff, societal stuff. All this stuff is there. And so whenever you enter into a new stage of life, you meet what's already there. You never enter into a free energetic space. It's always populated. And given who we are as a species, it's very busy. There are densely populated spaces. And so you hear about these couples, right? They're one way when they're dating. As soon as they get married, the energy shifts. Yeah, they stepped into the space of marriage, into the energetic space of marriage. And there is a template in each person about what marriage looks like. And they then need to work. And so and ideally work together to then make this template their own. And that's what the preparation has been about. You're about to enter into a lot of different spaces. Don't freak out, don't feel vulnerable, but you're going to enter into lots of different spaces that have a template set about how things are done. And it's about you being this big person, this big energy that stands in your preparation, that stands in your truth. Do not budge, do not waver. Live it from that higher space, that higher perspective, because my love, again, that is your destiny. That is who you are. You are this big being in the truth of you. And those aspirations that you have, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do it better. I'm going to do it truer. They are seated in there for purpose, and spirit will help you every single step of the way to make that come true. And that is also something to realize. There are challenges. Absolutely. There are real challenges that we have to acknowledge. And that doesn't make us negative, and it doesn't make us unspiritual. It makes us grounded, and I'm all for grounded spirituality. But those challenges are teeny tiny. You're very, very big. These challenges are teeny, teeny, tiny. You can overcome them, no problem. But only if you know they're there, and only if you are aware of them as you move along. And so, love, that was the main themes. We are now going to get some advice from Spirit. Yay! Yay, bring on the advice, Spirit. This should be good. This should be good. Only two. And then we'll really go into depth with each. Okay. So we have these two. We have got Let Love Be Your Beacon. Wow. And we've got the big picture. Okay. Well, let's start with, no, we're going to pause before we start. There's a main theme over the advice. Okay, so what is that? We're going to go back to a card. It's the pause. The pause that you have been in is a space of becoming. Okay. You've been growing, you've been evolving, you've been coming into your own. Now that you're here, there's, again, new spaces to enter into, new things to do. And so it's very important that you have some form of flexibility, understanding that you're not, how do I put this? You're in becoming. You're going to grow and you're going to evolve through your engagement with the spaces that you're walking into. So nothing is set in stone. Nothing is fixed. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be for this reason, and so on and so forth. All of that is going to start evolving now. The only thing that is set is your approach with love, with kindness, with truth, with clarity, and so on and so forth, with purpose. That is what is fixed. But everything now is going to be quite an evolving. And it's very important to allow it to evolve. So even if you had a goal when you started your journey, let's say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last year, last week, a goal that you arrived at and it was the truth of your heart and that is the goal, allow that to be up for, not grabs, but for evolution. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose it, but it is going to evolve, especially because it's meeting the world. And whenever it meets the world, there is some degree to which things are going to be changed and transformed. I mean, the energy that I'm feeling is nowhere near as grand, as beautiful, as powerful as when I'm speaking words, because words don't have that level. It doesn't have that vibration. It doesn't have that capacity. And so in the earthly realm, there are always going to be those limitations. And maybe you're feeling the energy and then noticing that there's discrepancy with the words. It's the way that it is. And so that's what you're going to meet also in these spaces. You're going to necessarily meet some degree, some level of limitation, and some level of departure from what you originally intended or what you visualized, how you thought that it was going to be, but it doesn't mean that it's worse. And that's why Spirit is saying, let love be your beacon. Love is energy, love is power, but love is also an essence. And so where we can find essence, we won the game. That's pretty much it. Like, for example, I watch all the time in spiritual circles, nobody's perfect, nothing is perfect. And I remember at a time, again, I had an initiation, and I would watch that and I would hear that and I would be like, speak for yourself. I'm perfect. I'm perfect. And it would make me laugh, right? I was like, I'm perfect. I'm perfect. And at some point I was like, wait a minute, what is that part of me that's saying I'm perfect? And it's not my ego. It was the essence of me, my divinity, who said, hey, I'm perfect. Why do you keep diminishing me? Why do you keep telling me that I'm not perfect? And then I grappled with it to understand, right? To make sense, put it in words, putting it in thoughts and explanation. And I realized that I don't do everything perfect, and I don't choose everything perfect by any means. I don't say everything perfect. I don't even say this stuff half as well as I would want to, as I would intend to, as I would dream to, again, to align with the energy that I'm experiencing. And it's part of my being able to do this work and follow through on my mission and live out my purpose, to be able to manage that fundamental discrepancy so that it's not a disappointment, it's not a loss, but it's the ability to find the essence, the perfection in what is imperfect in an earthly sense. So it's divinely perfect. And it is about grasping that essence. When you have that essence, you see the love, and love will have guided you there, but you're in the love, you're in the love experience. And so Spirit is guiding me to tell you my orange example. Most days I eat an orange, and every single day that orange is perfect. Some days it is bitter, it is sour, it's still perfect. I still eat this orange, and every single time I have this experience of perfection, which is also what really helped me to grasp the essence. And it's the same thing here. Things are going to happen, they're going to unfold, but you're not going to go into a situation or choose it or accept it, revel in it, feel fulfilled by it, by looking at the externals of how things came together. I got this much out of it, they said that, this happened. It's gonna be with this sense of perfection you find in it, or rather the essence of love. And the essence of love, it's perfection. It's gonna be perfect for you. It's gonna just be perfect. And that would happen to me also. I'd be like, oh, this is perfect. I don't know why. I don't understand how it could be, but it is. It is. I'm experiencing that it is. Or this is so beautiful. This is so balanced. This is so true. Oh my God, this is so true. I'm not sure quite why, but this is true. And all of those are the essence of love. And very often we feel love, or we can recognize love by how we process, right, in our system and in our limited imperfect being. We're going to process it into gratitude, into appreciation, into trust. I trust this. I have no idea why, but I trust this. I understand this. It makes sense to me. Oh my God. Yes. I accept this. I care. I care about this. I'm passionate about this. All of those elements are going to come in, and that's going to tell you fundamentally it's a filter of positivity. And positivity, not in the sense that, again, everything's perfect, everything's right, but more positivity, more love, more of this alignment, more of this truth, more of beauty, more into my life. So that positivity is a filter we use to make sense of reality, where we see that more love is being added to our lives, to our experience, and negativity would be things that take away love. It takes away a sense of purpose, takes away a sense of meaning. I don't even want to do this anymore. Nah. And then you can see where the negativity is at, and you can see where the positive influences are at, and you can work all that fundamentally from a space of recognizing the love. So let love is be your beacon is talking about absolutely being led into situations, circumstances, choices by what you love. But even more importantly, Spirit is saying, let love keep you there. Beacon sometimes is planted and then it lights up in the sky, and it allows other people to find you or to come to it, like, right, like a lighthouse would be a beacon. Let love be your beacon, the love in this situation and how well it's working. Bam, 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 bam. This is it. This is perfect. This is beautiful. This is true. Bam, 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 bam. Listen to that. Listen to that for sure. So the second bit of advice is the big picture. We're in eclipse energy. And this eclipse energy is, again, a culmination of lots of different energies. We have Uranus, who's also part of this, and Uranus will be in Taurus until April 2026. So there's some time before we came to this energy, and there's some time after. And so with the big picture, Spirit wants you to remember that there's a lot going on for you and for everybody on the planet, but that there's a bigger picture to whatever you're going to be receiving or experiencing in this time. I was going to say in this world, at a fundamental level, that would be true, but also in this time. So whatever is manifesting, whatever is showing up, whatever starts working out, whatever starts being so prosperous and just giving to you over and over and over again, that is awesome. That is amazing. Revel in it. I'm going to have to stop. That's such good energy. Live in it, right? Allow it to nurture you, immerse yourself in it, absolutely. But also keep the bigger picture to know that whatever's showing up is not the whole thing. So on some level, that's great, right? Maybe you sell something, you get $1,000 for it. If you thought that that's all you're going to get for all the work that you've put in so far, that could be very little. So know that even more is going to be showing up later on. But at the same time, maybe if you get $100,000, and that's way more than you ever experienced, then maybe you don't expect to get more, but you can know, wait, this 100,000, I can do other things with it. There are other applications for it. There are other ways. And so don't spend it all. Hold on to it. It would be like that kind of energy. Whatever is showing up now is only the beginning. It is only the first steps. It is only the initiation, the first steps. Yeah, the first bit of a longer journey that is going to unfold all the way throughout 2025 into 2026. Absolutely. But for some of you, the rest of your lives. And so it is about negotiating that, to know, to not kind of burn yourself out completely with, I'm going to hold this and have this and enjoy it completely here and now, because, there's more. Also, don't expect that what shows up is the only form, right? This is it. This is the final form. It's not going to grow. It's not going to evolve. It's always going to be like this. Allow the space for expansion. And creative energy, love energy, is nothing if not creative by definition, right? In its very being, its very divine being. And so it's important to keep that creative space open, to allow for expansion and allow for trust. Yeah, trust to get you there. I saw once a saying that was, worry is imagining the future without God. And this applies in this situation. That would be very much that to meet the gifts and the blessings as they show up, to meet them and believe that this is their final form, would be to take out the divine creative energy and everything that it has planned in the situation and circumstance. And I can tell you, it has so much planned for you, but also in a bigger sense, because Spirit is saying, of course, there's also the global awakening process. There's a whole world. There's a whole world healing itself. And I'm a part of that, and you're a part of that, and your neighbor's a part of that, and the people on the television are a part of that. It's all in the light and dark. It's all part of a bigger plan. And there is something about each and every person watching that will be called on to, the way Spirit is saying, called on to utilize resources for that higher plan, or at least to feed its future direction. So it would be like, if you get a lot of money, then that money on some level is intended to serve the direction of the future. So you're not going to get a lot of money and invest in oil companies who run death squads in certain countries. That would just not be in alignment with the energy. That, oh no. No, it would not be that. It would be much more, maybe you get that money and then you know, without being too advanced, right? Some of you may do this, but more likely you would go to your bank and they would invest it for you. But then the stocks that they would be investing in would be green stocks. It would be new technologies. It's like that. There again, energy is creative. So even your money is creative, and money that is coming through this energy will have a huge creative impact, and it is intended to. The blessings that you're receiving at this time are intended to have a larger positive impact on your life, the life of the people around you, people who are connected to you, but also the life of every single living being on this planet. We are in revolution times, Uranus energy. We are in change times. In Taurus energy, it is manifesting. Prosperity, bigger, better, truer is coming true here on the planet. And you and all the blessings that are here for you now and onwards are absolutely, absolutely divinely intended to be a part of it. And Spirit is saying to be an important part of it, like a linchpin. So, my love, that was the reading. That was the energy for Taurus. And I'll just do a wrap up this time around. I'll start doing that. So to wrap up this energy, and like I said, I didn't do it the last time. This is literally the second time that I'm doing one of these energy update videos. And so again, there's the evolution. Nothing is in quite in its final form. There's always space to evolve. But what Spirit would really leave you with at this time, the message Spirit really wants you to hear and to hold on to in this reading and this energy is that you're being blessed, and you're being blessed in response to who you've been and what you've done for a long time, however long that is. For some of you, it's decades. For some of you, it's years. It could be weeks. It doesn't really matter how long, but it matters that it has been long enough that it has left an imprint on you, even an imprint on your soul, that you have been on a path that has been sacrificial in nature. There's so much you've had to give up so that you could awaken and ascend and show up at this time and do all of these things that you're doing now and that you will do in the future. You know, for your destiny, you've put in a lot to have that destiny, to stay in alignment with it, and Spirit sees you for it, and Spirit acknowledges you for it, and Spirit loves you for it in general, but also loves you for that. And that is a very special and unique kind of love that you are being invited to tune into, to align with, and to let accompany you as you move forward. You are not alone in this. You are supported by the entire universe. You are ever so loved. You are ever so lovable. And your reality is going to start showing you that day in and day out for the rest of your days, my love. It's that kind of energy. It's that kind of truth. It is that kind of shift. And it is that kind of bond between you and the unconditionally loving energy that guides you. And so my work here is done. I have delivered the message. I hope that you receive it. I would love to hear how you receive it. If you feel like sharing, it is between you and the unconditionally loving energy that guides you, but I would much appreciate it. I'm sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, all of it. Enjoy your blessing. May you be blessed always and in always. And I will be seeing you around the channel. Bye, love.